James Burke. They called him Jimmy the Gent. He was Irish, a rarity in the Italian-American Mafia. But Burke was a force to be reckoned with. He belonged to the Lucchese crime family, one of the 5 families that ruled New York City. Burke operated in the shadows. He was a ghost, leaving a trail of fear and whispers in his wake. Burke's world was built on violence and intimidation. He ran his operations with an iron fist. Loyalty was paramount. Betrayal was met with swift and brutal retribution. His reputation preceded him. A word from Burke could make or break a man. Burke's rise through the ranks was swift. He started small, running errands and muscle for low-level mobsters. James Burke thrived in the city's underbelly. He was a master manipulator, always staying one step ahead of the law. His criminal empire stretched far and wide, from the docks to the airports. Burke had his hands in everything. Drug trafficking, extortion, hijacking, nothing was off limits. He ran his operations with military precision. Burke surrounded himself with a loyal crew, men who would kill and die for him. They were his soldiers, carrying out his every order without question. Burke's crew instilled fear in even the most hardened criminals. They were known for their ruthlessness and efficiency. Burke had a sixth sense for danger. He was always watching, always listening. Informants were everywhere, feeding him information. December 11th, 1978. John F. Kennedy International Airport. The Lufthansa heist. A crew of masked men stormed the Lufthansa cargo terminal. They were armed and dangerous, their every move precise and calculated. It was a well-oiled machine, years in the making. The target, millions of dollars in cash and jewels, the mastermind James Burke. The heist was audacious, the biggest cash robbery in American history at the time. The robbers got away with over $5 million in cash and almost $1 million in jewelry. It was a staggering sum, making headlines across the country. The Lufthansa heist became the stuff of legend. It was a brazen act of defiance, a middle finger to the authorities. Burke knew he had to tie up loose ends. Witnesses were a liability, and he couldn't afford any mistakes. A wave of violence followed the heist. One by one, those connected to the robbery started turning up dead. The message was clear: keep quiet or face the consequences. Fear and paranoia gripped Burke's inner circle. They knew too much, and their silence couldn't be guaranteed. Burke's enforcers worked tirelessly, silencing anyone who posed a threat. The body count rose, each death adding to the mystery surrounding the heist. The streets ran red with the blood of those who dared to speak. Section 5. The feds circle in. The FBI was relentless. They knew Burke was behind the Lufthansa heist, but they couldn't prove it. The investigation dragged on for years, fueled by a mixture of frustration and determination. They were determined to bring Burke to justice, no matter the cost. Agents worked tirelessly, following every lead, every whisper. They tapped phones, flipped informants, and leaned on anyone who might have information. The pressure was mounting, but Burke remained calm. He had weathered storms before. He had lawyers on retainer, ready to fight any charge the government could throw at him. Burke knew the feds were closing in. He had to stay one step ahead, outmaneuver them at every turn. Section 6. Behind bars, but not forgotten. Prison couldn't contain James Burke's influence. He ran his criminal enterprise from his cell. He had loyal associates on the outside, carrying out his orders. Burke was still a force to be reckoned with, even behind bars. He maintained his iron grip on his crew, demanding absolute loyalty. Visits from his associates were frequent. Messages were passed, orders were given. The criminal underworld still revolved around him. Burke's reputation followed him into prison. He commanded respect, even from hardened criminals. Section 7. The Lufthansa curse, a bloody aftermath. The Lufthansa heist cast a long shadow. Many who participated in the robbery met untimely ends. It was as if the heist was cursed, leaving a trail of blood and violence in its wake. Some met their demise through Burke's own hand, ensuring their silence. Others fell victim to their own greed and paranoia. They turned on each other, suspicious of anyone who breathed. The money, the loot from the heist, became a poisoned chalice. It brought nothing but misery and death to those who possessed it. The Lufthansa heist yielded a fortune in cash and jewels. But, well, the money vanished. It disappeared into thin air, along with most of the jewels. To this day, the bulk of the loot remains unrecovered. Some believe Burke stashed it away, a secret fortune for his retirement. Others believe it was laundered through a complex web of criminal enterprises. The mystery of the missing millions continues to fascinate and intrigue. Treasure hunters and conspiracy theorists alike have searched for the lost fortune. They follow rumors and whispers, hoping to uncover the truth. Section 9. Burke's legacy, fear and respect. James Burke's name still evokes a mixture of fear and respect. He was a ruthless criminal, a master manipulator who left a lasting impact on the American Mafia. Burke's influence extended far beyond his own criminal enterprise. He inspired a generation of gangsters who sought to emulate his success. His methods were often brutal but undeniably effective. Burke understood the language of violence. He knew how to instill fear and maintain control. He was a master strategist, always thinking several steps ahead. Burke's legacy is complex and multifaceted. Section 10. The Irishman on film, fact, and fiction. Hollywood couldn't resist the allure of James Burke's story. The enigmatic and dangerous world of organized crime has always been a magnet for filmmakers, and Burke's life provided the perfect material. His life has been the subject of numerous films and television shows. Each adaptation brings its own interpretation, adding layers to the mythos surrounding his persona. The 2019 Martin Scorsese film, The Irishman, brought Burke's story to a new generation. Scorsese, known for his masterful storytelling, delved deep into the intricacies of Burke's life. The film, starring Robert De Niro as Burke, offered a fictionalized account of his life and crimes. De Niro's portrayal was both haunting and captivating, drawing viewers into the dark world of the Mafia. While the film took creative liberties, it captured the essence of Burke's character. The blend of fact and fiction created a compelling narrative that resonated with audiences. It portrayed him as a complex and conflicted figure, capable of both great charm and chilling violence. This duality made him a fascinating character to explore on screen. The film reignited interest in Burke's life and the events surrounding the Lufthansa heist. This infamous crime, one of the largest cash thefts in American history, became a focal point in the narrative. It sparked debates about the accuracy of historical depictions and the romanticization of organized crime. Critics and audiences alike questioned the balance between entertainment and truth. The film served as a reminder of the enduring fascination with the Mafia and its impact on American culture. The allure of the underworld continues to captivate, reflecting society's complex relationship with crime and morality. Section 11. The End of an Era, Burke's Final Days. This chapter delves into the final moments of a man who once ruled the underworld with an iron fist. James Burke's reign of terror eventually came to an end. His criminal empire, built on fear and violence, crumbled as law enforcement closed in on him. He was diagnosed with lung cancer while serving his sentence for the point-shaving scheme. The once formidable mobster found himself battling a relentless disease. His health deteriorated rapidly and he was transferred to a prison hospital. The man who had once commanded respect and fear was now at the mercy of medical staff. Burke died on April 13, 1996, at the age of 64. His death was a significant moment, marking the end of a notorious figure in organized crime. The man who had once seemed invincible was gone, brought down by a foe he couldn't intimidate or bribe. His final days were a stark contrast to his life of power and control. His death marked the end of an era in organized crime. The old ways of the mob were fading, giving way to new methods and new faces. The old guard was fading away, replaced by a new breed of gangster. These new criminals were more sophisticated, using technology and new tactics to evade law enforcement. Burke's passing was met with a mixture of sadness and relief. For some, it was the end of an era of fear. For others, it was the loss of a complex figure who had shaped their lives. Those who had feared him breathed a sigh of relief, knowing he could no longer harm them. The closing of his chapter was a moment of closure for many. Section 12. The Ghosts of the Past. Burke's enduring influence. James Burke may be gone, but his presence is still felt. His shadow looms large over the city, a constant reminder of the past. His story continues to fascinate and horrify, drawing in those who seek to understand the dark underbelly of organized crime. He remains an enigma, a figure shrouded in mystery and speculation. People still wonder about his true motives and the extent of his influence. Burke's influence can still be seen in the way organized crime operates today. His methods, his strategies, they have left an indelible mark. The lessons he taught, the tactics he employed are still studied and emulated by those who walk the same dangerous path. His legacy is a reminder that the allure of power and wealth can corrupt even the most hardened criminal. The temptation is always there, lurking in the shadows. The ghosts of Burke's past still haunt the streets of New York City. His presence is felt in the quiet moments, in the stillness of the night. His name is whispered in hushed tones, a reminder of a time when the Mafia ruled the city. Those who remember speak of him with a mix of fear and respect. Burke's story serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of organized crime and the corrosive effects of power. It is a story that continues to resonate, a warning from the past.